What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be talking about the one and only Tesla stock, what you should be looking after for the future. I'm also going to do some in-depth technical analysis and give you guys my price prediction for tomorrow based off the charts are showing and based off the data is suggesting. I'm also going to break down what's going on with the overall market and how this may affect Tesla. I want to talk about what on earth many analysts are saying about Tesla as well, and also what Elon Musk, the man, the myth, the legend, Elon Musk put on his Twitter page, which is big news for Tesla. Now, before I break anything down, before I get into any details, I do have to mention a couple of things before starting. Firstly, I'm not a financial planner. Don't take any of this as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire Tesla community as a whole. And the last things, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you're guaranteed up to 12 free stocks, each worth up to $2,000. And the best part is, any of these 12 free stocks could be a free Tesla share. It's a limited time offer. The offer ends in just 2 days. Check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So as a Tesla investor, being as kind of like unbiased as possible, I have good news and bad news for everyone when it comes to the share price and what we're seeing and what the technicals are showing us. So the good news was, going into like the last couple of days, since like this big drop Tesla had, since that time, Tesla has actually been outperforming the market. Tesla's been like running up. It's been green by like 4%, 5% when the market was like crashing, taking some hits, maybe just trading sideways. So Tesla was very strong over the last couple of days. And what I mentioned yesterday was I questioned how long this would really last. And unfortunately, Tesla was not very strong today. Today was the first day in a while over the last like week or so where Tesla was actually the one kind of like playing a game of keep up with the overall market. So what happened was Tesla came down yesterday. We pushed up a bit, and then today came, and you can notice that Tesla was just chopping for the majority of the day. We were actually kind of red for some time. We're just trading back and forth, trying to fight resistance right here. And like I mentioned, this very key zone between 288 and 290, which is where we have that very strong resistance. What happened is we didn't come near it for the majority of the day, despite where we were yesterday. And what happened was the market started to rally at the very end. The last hour was very strong. Tesla pushed up with the overall market, and we actually got to the zone, and then we came down. So when you look at the actual numbers alone, Tesla's barely up 1.72%, which is pretty decent. But when you consider the fact that the QQQ is up like 2%, the NASDAQ is up 2%, the SPY is up about almost 2%, Tesla actually underperformed them. Tesla should have been up like 4% on a normal day, since its beta tends to be above 2.0. So that just goes to show Tesla is showing some signs of weakness from here. Now, that doesn't mean that Tesla is just dead. It's not going to run from here, because the one thing that's very big, and that is what Elon Musk actually mentioned on his Twitter page. Let me just show you guys this right here. He mentioned that AI Day is on September 30th in Palo Alto, California. This is going to be very big because with AI Day coming, typically during these big events, stocks like Tesla, they tend to actually push up pretty well. Tesla historically does this, but after the big events, anything could really go down depending on what is announced. There is the potential for us to come down after. I don't want to get into that just yet. I want to just make it clear that right now I'm very cautious, and the market looks like we might push up a bit, but I'm still very, very skeptical and cautious because I don't fully trust the market just yet. Remember, for SPY, it was just yesterday the SPY was making a new low. Then all of a sudden we get a big rally and people are just excited. I wouldn't be too excited just yet. Like I said, I'm still very cautious. Let me show you something. So SPY, the overall market, we've been respecting a downtrend. But you will notice if you look at the rejection levels, you could actually encompass it with a trend line. The SPY is very close to that. The SPY hasn't filled the gap up here, which means that the market might push up tomorrow for some time. But the question is, are we going to continue to break out of this trend line if we are ready to really rally for the midterms and things like that? I don't have confirmation of this yet. We have to wait and see. But a rejection is also very possible once we fill that gap. With that said, with the market like pushing up just a little bit and maybe getting rejected, that makes me very cautious with Tesla. Now, Tesla's pretty close to where that like very strong resistance level is. So it is possible that Tesla could try to, fight this zone for some time, but we have a tendency of getting rejected from here. And until we get a clean break out of 290, that's when I'm not necessarily like extremely excited or like super bullish just yet. As far as the data goes, let's actually just look at it. The volume is actually pretty average, which is a pretty good sign because Tesla's not even like that up to date, and yet we have pretty nice volume. But what's interesting is the short volume percentage is still relatively low, which means that the bulls actually have the edge, at least for the most part, for the time being on Tesla. And this could be a good sign for the next few days going into AI day. As far as the max pain goes, it's at 285 for the week, which is actually pretty good considering the fact that a lot of people, there are actually more people that are holding puts than calls for now. But overall, it's pretty balanced. So it actually showed some lots of signs of improvement from there. As far as the data goes, SPY is still very low compared to Tesla, but Tesla is still in this zone that makes me very, how should I say, skeptical about the price action. Now, the price price ratio, it is still on an uptrend, but this is going to come down a bit once we get the latest data. So be very cautious right now. Tesla was outperforming the market. Right now, we're not seeing that. And many of the other things are essentially the same. For Thursdays, historically, Tesla tends to actually be red, at least for the week. However, we're not necessarily in the same position because AI day is coming, and the market still looks like it might push up a bit. Now, as far as data goes, there are some people talking about how, Tesla's going to drop 50% again, or things like that. In my honest opinion, it is very possible, but I don't see it happening in the near term, at least for like the month of October. It's very unlikely for that to actually happen unless the market actually crashes like super hard. It seems more likely that the market might capitulate, push into midterms, and then maybe get a big crash afterwards. That's very possible. Claims like this are possible. This is pretty extreme though. I just want to put that out there. So, anyways, what's going on with Tesla's share price? Right here, 288 to 290, we have very strong resistance. I'm not, completely sure if we're going to break past this. Tesla in the past, when it turned bullish, what it used to do is it would test resistance, get rejected many times. Then during like the third or fourth test, it would finally break past it. Now, if the market is very bullish tomorrow, if we truly get a big continuation, if SPY fills the gap and the market continues to push, it's very possible for Tesla to actually break past this and actually, like fill the gap from here. So if you want to make this even more clear, you will notice that we had this low right here on Tesla. And what happened was Tesla pushed up. We're starting to make these higher lows. So we're starting to push up. And it looks like it wants to retest this 288 to 290 range. I'm hoping we get a clean break out of it because if we break above 290 and start to rally, we could see some FOMO come in. We could see some gamma maybe like play a role. And this thing would have the potential to push to that 295 to 300 range. Very possible if we get a clean break of 290. Now, is that very likely to happen? Considering the fact that Tesla is showing some weakness, it's a little bit less likely than excuse me. It's a little bit less likely than some people would have anticipated, but overall, it's still very possible considering what the market is doing. So as far as technical indicators go, right now there isn't really a clear trend change just yet on Tesla because we are starting to respect an uptrend, but on the daily, what I'm seeing is we have a pretty nice candle for today. The MACD is starting to close a bit, RSI is picking up, and we are showing some decent signs of momentum. I think this was showing it right here. Momentum, it kind of slowed today, but I'm hoping we get a nice push into tomorrow. So considering that there are more bullish than bearish things still for Tesla, I'm not seeing a big rejection happening just yet. So the two most likely possibilities would be looking at support and resistance first. So where Tesla is right now, 288 to 290 is key resistance. We break past that, 295 is very possible. Break that, then 300 will be in the books, very, very likely. If we break 295, we're most likely going to get to 300 pretty quickly, but first we have to break past 290. Now, if Tesla comes down and this thing struggles, I'm going to be watching, let me see, about that 284.8 range around there, basically 285, very close around that range. That's where support is going to be. Break below that, then this thing has the potential to come all the way back down to the 280 flat range. And below that comes 275 and so on and so forth. So what is likely to happen tomorrow? I think that's what a lot of people are now wondering. So for tomorrow, what I'm thinking is the market's going to get a very nice push into open because we had a very strong close, and also SPY has not filled that gap, and the market is going to want to push this thing up. Tomorrow, Tesla, in my opinion, is going to fight this zone. It's going to fight like this. So there are two main possibilities in my honest opinion. Let me just actually draw them out first. So firstly, the more bullish possibility for tomorrow would be Tesla fights this zone and we actually break above it like this. We come down, retest it, And then if the market does rally, maybe Tesla pushes to about 295, gets a rejection off that. It kind of trades between 290 and 295 for the majority of the day. And maybe it touches 300 going into like AI day right before the event starts. So that's very possible. Considering the big event is happening, this is very, very possible, guys, if Tesla gets a clean break. And if we break 295 tomorrow, guys, 300 is also very possible. A more bearish possibility would be because Tesla is showing some weakness, because Tesla was not necessarily pushing as high as it was earlier this week, what could happen is we come back to this zone. We go to about 290. Maybe we go a little above it temporarily. But because SPY could get rejected off 373, the market could get a big rejection too. It's very possible Tesla comes right back down and retests 284 like this. And once we retest it, we slowly come down all the way back down to 280. That's also very possible for us to get a big drop like this, followed by a nice bounce and a close around that mid 280 level. So just like this. So both of these are very possible. I do think that because of AI day, I would be a little bit more on the bullish side, saying that this is a little bit more likely. So I'm hoping that we do get a pretty nice break tomorrow above 290. However, please note we have gotten rejected off 288 to 290 many times, so it's not necessarily guaranteed. So you have to be very cautious around here. Also, if the market gets another big rejection, sometimes these rejections can almost look spontaneous. Sometimes it can happen when you least expect it. So be very cautious right here around this zone right here where I'm highlighting. Be very careful here. A clean break above this thing has the potential to moon. If not, if we continue to chop and we don't show the strength Tesla has shown before, we have the potential to get a big rejection and come down. Similar to what happened today, guys. Very similar. Just like how Tesla came down. It could happen again if we don't get a big break. Once again, I'm more optimistic because of AI day. I would anticipate the blue line to be a lot more likely. So please remain calm, cool, and collected. Watch your key zones, watch your indicators, and do what you have to do. With that said, thank you all so much for listening. Have an absolutely fantastic rest of the day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Tesla to the moon because the long-term future is still very bright despite everything going on. And peace out.